Good morning, everyone. Getting ready to start our day. I hope you are able to see the screen. Give me a thumbs up if you're on, and let's go ahead and get started this morning. Woohoo! Good morning. It is time for Monday morning motivation. I hope all of you champions are ready for a fantastic day and a great week, of course. We are just getting started. It is the first full week of September. And I don't know about you, but I am ready to start the end of the year season. I don't know have a better way to say it than that. It's not fourth quarter yet, but I know that when I hit September, things just fly. Everything boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden, it is January. And I don't know about you, but I still have a lot of things I want to get done before January. And because I know how quickly everything accelerates, I am on board with we got to get started right away to make the rest of this year amazing. And so I'm here to talk to you about this week. And Kathy is on. Good morning. Good morning. So nice to have you. She's checking in from Connecticut, not Virginia. So welcome. I'm hoping you're enjoying Connecticut. That's a beautiful area. I love that part of the United States. And for the rest of you, if you're on right now, go ahead and say live or hashtag replay. Let me know you're here. We are going to be talking today about procrastination. Is procrastination your friend? And this is a real sensitive topic for me because I recognized yesterday that I have been procrastinating on some stuff. And I mean, I really, of course, I'm human, right? I don't mean that I don't procrastinate, but it just kind of all sat on me really heavy. And I went, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? Why am I procrastinating? What is happening? So I didn't get mad at myself. I wanted to separate myself from it and really look at it as to if that's my go-to thing right now, what is happening that's causing that? And so it made me think about procrastination being a friend. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But I want to ask you a question first, and that is, what is your current relationship with procrastination? You know, procrastination is a funny thing, right? And we may not even call it procrastination. So Tony Robbins likes to say that as high achievers, which I know many people in this community, we are reaching for the stars, right? But we may not say we procrastinate, but yet we have this level of stress or overwhelm, and we have 100 things on our to-do list that aren't getting done. And in some way, shape, or form, that is delaying the things that we know we want to do to get the desired outcome. And so if you are postponing things over and over and over again, no matter what label we put on it or the moniker, it's procrastination in its root form. And so you have to address that. You have to look at that current relationship. And it's funny because I called it a relationship because of an experience I had shortly after my divorce. And it was with money. I had my kids right before the divorce was over. There was this experience I had where one of my children said to me, Mom, how come you're poor and Dad is rich? And it really hit home, obviously, that I had a scarcity mindset. And really what was happening was I had a bad relationship with my money. So I'm asking you about procrastination, but I'm relating this to an exercise that I did with my money back in that day when I was just mystified as to why there was incongruency in my life. Now, it was true. I mean, it was my husband and I, we had the same amount of money coming into the household, and he bought everything and didn't care about anything. And I was the one who was always trying to keep the budget, and everything had to have this certain amount, and we couldn't buy things over this amount. And I was always telling the kids, we can't afford that. And yet he would buy them anything they wanted. And so I had to really look at that and examine where I was with my relationship with money. And so when I went into the divorce and things got even worse because I didn't have an income at the time, and I sat and I thought, okay, what is my relationship with money? And I thought of all the things as if money was like I was in love with money. And I had like money takes me out on dates. It did, right? I mean, not really, but the concept of money is my friend and money is fun. Money and I go traveling together. And I just did this whole thing. I journaled it all out about my relationship with money and what it was doing, positively or not positively, to support me in the relationship we were having. And it was very eye-opening, and it helped me to shift from that scarcity to a place where money and I were friends. And so when I was looking at this procrastination, I thought, is it possible for me to do this in that same way? And so I'm inviting you guys to have this kind of dialogue with yourself as well. And good morning. I've got another person saying hi. Remember, because of StreamYard's little masking thing that they do, I can't see who it is. So if you want to pop your name in with your comment, I can easily see that. But as you can see, I just see Facebook user. And I'm happy you're here, whether you're saying your name or not. Appreciate you guys and happy to be spending my Monday morning with you. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk first about procrastination. So what is procrastination? As I mentioned in the beginning, the true definition is postponing or delaying things that are necessary. It's not laziness. Laziness is we make a choice. Procrastination is there's something blocking us from it. And it takes that deeper level of figuring it out to really understand what's happening. Usually, once you clear the block, everything flows. So whether it's you need a deadline, that's a form of procrastination because you aren't self-policing yourself enough, making it important enough until outside influences make it that way. But it's getting distracted. It's letting other things be more important than the thing that you previously declared that you wanted to complete. And, like I said, Tony likes to say we're overachievers, so we don't like to call it procrastination, but it's there. And a lot of times procrastination sits heavy on us like stress. We know we need to be doing things. We know we're not motivated. We know we're not in that space. And as a result, it's holding us back. And you have to really be cognizant of the things that are happening. Okay. So when you think about procrastination, is there something in your life that you are procrastinating about? Now, in preparation for the 3-day masterclass I'm starting on Wednesday, I did some of the exercises myself on this because I figured if I was having this experience with procrastination, I better get really close and in tune with it because if I'm going to be speaking on it, right, I want to be talking from that place of I have solutions. I know what you're going through. And so I listed out everything that I was procrastinating on. And it took me by surprise because there was so much on that list. And I was seeing it as individual events. I know that I've been putting this off. I didn't look at the entirety of it. And then I dug deep, which is what we'll do in that challenge or that class. And you'll really get to see the pattern that's going on in your procrastinating. Hopefully that would be beneficial to you at this point, because really my heart is to help you guys move to the next level, whatever that next level is for you. And if procrastination is showing up in your life, let's figure out how to overcome, right? So the second thing I wanted to talk about on procrastination is this friendship versus foe idea, right? And so what is a friend? And I wrote down some definitions. I always do that because I just like to get our languaging right. But friends usually have a bond. There's something that goes on between them, right? A connection and a commonality. And they're usually familiar with each other. So is procrastination something that you have a unique relationship already? Like you've grown up with procrastination. They're like the kid that you grew up with. You've had them around forever. Or is it a friend that, moved in once you went to college? Or maybe they're just a coworker that hung on to you at some point. You see what I'm doing here? I'm personifying this concept to help you understand. Because what I started noticing about the friend of procrastination is they're more like that troubled friend. The friend that you knew you shouldn't be hanging around with, and your friends and your parents were kind of like, they are going to be your detriment. Like they don't want you hanging around with them because something about them puts them off. And yet it was kind of thrilling, right? To hang out with them, but you knew you were going to get in trouble. You knew that good things didn't happen when you hung out with them, and you did it anyway. And that's kind of that relationship with procrastination that you want to be watching for, because it's easy to get caught up in it and not see what's really happening. Now, a foe is not a good friend, right? They are against you. And what's interesting is procrastination isn't against you. Procrastination is actually your mind trying to keep you safe. It's trying to look at all of the influences you've had in your life. And it's saying, you know what? When you stretched yourself and did this thing in the past, you had a bad experience. You failed. You had some emotion that didn't feel good. And so I know you don't really want to have that anymore. So I'm going to protect you from that by making all these other things more interesting than doing the thing that you need to do. And that way, you'll never have to experience failure again. You'll never have to have that uneasy feeling within you that you are pushing yourself beyond what feels right. And so they're not really a foe. They don't hate you. They instead are befriending you in a sense. But it's a false friendship. It doesn't feel right, and you know it, and yet you're still willing to entertain it. I even wrote in my notes, you don't tend to reach out to procrastination or that friend on purpose, but they always seem to show up wherever you are. And it's like easy to hang with them because it's easier than addressing the fact that you don't want them in your life. You don't want that experience happening. Is anybody relating with this? I am seeing all my life here. And I do think it's important because you have to be aware of the things that are happening in your own mind, right? It's with you all day, and it's so easy to just push it off, to think that it's some outside influence that's causing you. Like one of the reasons that it's hard to see is that everything seems like a priority these days, right? And as a result, it seems like other things are happening that are causing you not to get that dream that you are going after. And so you put off writing the book, or you put off starting that business or going after that client because you have an emergency. You have a thing that has to get done. But the reality is you are allowing those things to take precedence over what matters. You can do both. This is a and world, not a but. And so when you shift to I'm having an emergency and I still have priorities, I still have things that I have to do, that can release you from that pattern. And then you can look at the friend part of procrastination and see what I'm calling a mutual beneficial relationship. So what if when you see procrastination show up in your life, that's actually when you start to go, oh, why am I struggling to make this a priority? Like friendship rings the doorbell and says, can you play? And you go, you know what? My mom said I can't come out right now. I can only play on the weekend. And then you realize that you've got to do your chores first, right? And I know that's simplifying it. I don't know if it's resonating with anybody, but your friendships need to be mutually beneficial. Both of you getting something out of it. And procrastination just kind of needs to be put in its place. Like, I like you, but we're going to have the kind of relationship where I influence you as well. Not just you running the show, doing what you want and ruining my life, but me imparting my values and my um, priorities to you, and maybe changing the face of the relationship to where procrastination and your friendship with procrastination becomes something where you welcome it as a signpost of, I'm letting other things become more important to me. And I need to reevaluate. I need to decide differently. I need to look at this from a different angle, or call in support that helps you see it from a different vantage point so that you're not stuck in that toxicity that can happen in some relationships, right? If they're not beneficial, what are they? And are you doing the work behind that to really address it and understand what's happening? Do you have countermeasures? Do you have the balances in your life that keep those priorities front and center? That's how we combat procrastination. And I'm hoping that this topic is working with you and is meaningful because, as I mentioned, we will be starting Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with a 3-day masterclass. This is going to be about 30 minutes every morning. It'll start at 7:30. And it is my signature. Every month we'll be running a From Procrastination to Desired Destination class. And this is specifically for those of you, women in our community, that are ready to take action and get started moving towards their dreams. Whatever's in your way right now, we're going to clear the table off and we are going to get started again. And we're going to do this at the beginning of every month. Define what it is we want, what goals we're working on, and we are going to hold each other accountable through the month to reach those milestones, so that a year from now, we're going to look back and we're going to be like, I did all the things on my list, not the things that were easy, the things that everybody else said I needed to focus on and make a priority, but the things that I intentionally sat down and decided were the things that mattered to me. I hope this is exciting. If you are interested in getting invited to the masterclass, there is the ability to RSVP within the community for the event, or you can put hashtag masterclass in the feed right now in the comments, and I will be sending out those emails today. Today is an American holiday. It's called Labor Day, and I will be not working most of the day on my normal work stuff and instead on getting everybody their information for the masterclass on Wednesday. I hope you guys come. It's going to be a great event. I'm excited about the turn that I'm making for the community this year. I have mapped out my plan to take us from where we are now to where we want to go. And hopefully a year from now, you guys are going to look back and really be able to see that progress has been made in a very positive way. So, love you guys. Look forward to seeing you later this week. Don't forget to put hashtag live, or if you're catching this on the replay, let me know as well. And I hope you guys have a truly incredible, blessed week. Take care.